All right, gentlemen, can't tell. It's Monday Night Football, and instead of getting to watch the game, go Pack Go, we're doing some videos. So, I'm giving up my time. You better be using your time wisely. All right, lesson number 5. We're going to graph proportional relationships. Remember, proportional is stuff that, I think we get to that definition. Yep. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to use an example before I define the words, only because I think it makes it visually make more sense than just telling you to memorize this word. There we go. I was not full screen. Now I'm full screen. Perfect. Okay. Interesting. The slowest mammal on Earth is the tree sloth. It moves at a speed of 6 feet per minute. Determine whether the number of feet the sloth moves per minute is proportional to the number of minutes it moves by graphing on a coordinate plane. Explain your reasoning. Don't worry. Got my cough drops too. We'll get through it. So before I can go ahead and graph this, I see them in terms of time in minutes and distance in feet. I want to make an XY table, in this case a TD table, meaning time and distance. So when my sloth moves 0 minutes, he moves a distance of 0 feet. Logical. If he moves 1 minute, he'll move 6 feet. If he moves another minute, he'll move a total of 12 feet. Are you picking up the pattern here? Oh, I'm kind of getting in the way of my face. I gotta scooch this over a smidgen. Oh, much better. All right. 3 minutes, and he can move 18 feet. So it tells me to determine if it's proportional by graphing on the coordinate plane. So I'm going to start at 0, 0. I'm going to make a dot, and we know 0, 0 is in the corner. I'm not going to use my pen. This is so much easier if I do it with my mouse than with my finger. That's still quite small. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Next, I go 1 minute and 6 feet. So we're about there. Then I do 2 minutes and 12 feet. And then I do 3 minutes and 18 feet. And then I know I didn't write it down, but that's for fun. For giggles, if I go 4 minutes, I would be at 24. So what I can do is I can connect the dots to ensure that I have a straight line. Ooh, we did really good today at guesstimating where my points are going to go. Excuse me. So since I see that my line is a straight line, and I see that it hits the origin or the beginning or 0, 0, I can consider this to be proportional. And we know I cannot type or write with my finger. Since the line passes through the origin, meaning the 0, 0, and it is straight, the feet traveled is proportional to the time. So that means that every time I move over one, I go up the same amount. Every time I move over another, I go up the same amount. I'm going backwards. Every time I move over one, I go up. Every time I move over again, I go more up. So proportional means that it's consistently increasing at the same change in time and the same change in feet. James earned $5 an hour babysitting. Determine whether the amount of money James earns babysitting is proportional to the number of hours he babysits by graphing out on a coordinate plane. explain your reasoning. And the work zone is just on your piece of paper. Ignore the word work zone. So I want you to pause this one, see what you come up with, and tell me if you think this is a proportional relationship. So we need to have our dots to show my pretty graph. I need to erase that one because it's not very middly. Connect my dots. Shazam. Oops, I can spell straight. So we should get that, yes, this is proportional since my time and my amount increase at the same consistent rate. Therefore, it is proportional because it goes through the origin and it creates a straight line. Next one. The cost of renting a video game from Games Incorporated is shown in the table to the right. Determine whether the cost is proportional to the number of games rented by graphing on the coordinate plane. Explain your reasoning. So I need to graph this. And again, I'm going to use my mouse to do it. So one game costs $3. Oh, that was poor. That's not the size I wanted you at. There we go. One game costs $3. 2 games cost $5. 3 games cost $7. This is going to be a fun night. And 4 games cost $9. Let's see if we can try and make somewhat of a straight line with this. That's not what I want to do. I can't hit my dots. And I can tell you that it's not because I put them in the wrong spots. The reason I can't hit my dots is because this isn't proportional. So since the line doesn't go through the origin and isn't a straight line, the cost is not proportional to the number of games rented. So again, I know we were trying to make a line as best we could, but because it doesn't hit the origin and because it doesn't increase at a consistent rate, as close as we may try, even if I went back and started here, it's pretty straight, but it still doesn't hit the origin. It's a semi-close straight line. So he's not proportional because he doesn't go through the origin. All right. Table shows the number of calories an athlete burned per minute of exercise. Determine whether the number of calories burned is proportional to the number of minutes by graphing on the coordinate plane. Explain your reasoning. Again, ignore the word work zone because it's on paper. making sure that you can still see everything. So we're gonna graph this guy. And I start at 0, 0. Then I go 1, 4. Then I go 2, 8. And then 3, 13. And then again, I try and make my straight line. And whoa, hey, look at that. My line's straight, but that last dot's not on there. So is this guy proportional? Nope. So the number of calories is not proportional to the number of time. To the number of, sorry, I can't have a number of minutes, because even though it is going through the origin, it's not a straight line. So it's not proportional because my line is not straight, even though it goes through the origin. It has to hit both of those two key ideas. It has to be straight and it has to go through the origin. What's a generic one? In order to be a middle school student, you have to be at West Burlington. Well, that was a bad one too. I'm drawing a blank right now. It's just not happening. I'd come up with something good of how you need to do both, but I'm not feeling the best today. So give me some credit. Okay, moving forward. Next one. Which batting cage represents a proportional relationship between the number of pitches thrown and the cost? So I want you to pause the video, see what you can come up with, see which one is proportional, see if you know why it's proportional. Check back, see what you see, see if you agree. All right, so fun center. Line goes through the center and it creates a straight line. So because it does hit those two key parts, they are proportional. And we're done. Bye, guys.